Sugar is such a highly discussed ingredient.
Yes.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
What is the substitute for sugar? What is the appropriate substitute for sugar?
So the simplest answer is...
are chemically sugar-free substances good for you?
If you really ask me, I think the best substitute for sugar is slightly less sugar. People, I think, overthink this, right? So maybe eat half the portion of the dessert that you were going to eat, right? Or get used to, like a lot of Indian sweets are cloyingly sweet. Maybe consider making them with a little bit less sugar, right? Or use things like certain coconut palm sugar that will have a little bit less sugar as a percentage of them and still get you that complex sort of flavor. You can use other behavior science hacks like for example, using cardamom as a flavoring or vanilla as a flavoring. Tricks your brain into thinking that what you're eating is a dessert. So it auto-completes, if you will, a lot of the sweetness, right? So if you add vanilla to anything, you can get away by adding less sugar, right? So the point is that I think people overthink these things. Sugar substitutes are, again, for people who are diabetic, for whom any amount of sugar is bad for them. For healthy people, it's okay. I mean, sugar, people, we villainize sugar to the point where we forget that every cell in your body, the only fuel it uses is glucose. And that's sugar, right? So therefore, I think, too much of it, right? Too quickly in refined carbs form, spiking your insulin all the time, creating insulin resistance, and then, type 2 diabetes. Yes, all that is fine. Modern day lifestyle problems, right? But the point is if you're a perfectly healthy person, you should not be looking at sugar substitutes like aspartame and sucralose.
What about aspartame?
No, see, I think, this is, for starters, we have at least 3-4 decades of data that say that they are safe to use in small quantities, right? Despite all of the recent fears and all that, they're safe to use in small quantities. If you are a diabetic person who occasionally wants to enjoy like a cup of tea or you're an American who like drinks like maybe 2 servings of Coke or something, I think it's perfectly fine if you're taking the version of the soft drink that contains less of these, contains these sugar substitutes and so on. But if you're a healthy person looking to use like sugar substitutes because you think they are healthier, no, that's really not going to work at all. Because see, remember that the sugar substitutes actually trick your sweet taste buds into thinking that this is like sugar, right? And they're actually sometimes 200, 300 times sweeter than sugar, right? That's why you need very little. And so your brain is going into overload thinking, oh my God, so your intestine is now prepared for, I'm going to get a lot of calories. See, why do we have sweet taste buds? We have sweet taste buds because hunter-gatherers had to be incentivized to get as many carbohydrates as they can when the season allowed it in the form of fruits. Because if they didn't, they barely got any carbohydrates anyway, right?
Correct.
Because we were not doing agriculture, right? So mostly got protein and, and so on, right? So therefore, you're tricking your gut. And it says, I've been cheated, right? Dhoka ho gaya. I mean, you gave me the sweet, this thing here, and now you've cheated me here. Now I'm going to give you more cravings to eat more. So what regularly happens that healthy people who consume these sweeteners very regularly end up snacking more.
Okay.
So not really worth it, right? Okay. I mean, unless you're diabetic, I don't think this is worth it at all. Just have sugar with, just have your tea with a little bit less sugar. That's all you need to do. Yeah.